Okay, here we have an example. Cosine squared theta plus cosine theta equals 3 cosine squared theta minus 1. And we want to solve this trig equation on the interval from 0 to 2 pi. So what could we do to get this example started? Do you have any ideas how to begin?
Subtract the cosine.
Subtract the cosine squared
Where?
from both sides, like this.
Yes.
Good. So we're working to combine like terms, but the quadratic terms or the cosine squared looking terms are on opposite sides of the equal sign. So we have to use inverse operation to get it over and be able to combine. So now I'm left with a cosine theta on the left, and then this is going to be 2 cosine squared theta minus 1. What can we do next?
I don't know.
No. Well, it's starting to look like a quadratic type. So we want it to look a little bit more like ax squared plus bx plus c, and we want to get it equal to 0, happy 0, so that we can factor and solve. Factor and solve, and when we factor and solve, we are using the 0 product property. So I'm going to subtract cosine theta over, get it onto the right. It doesn't matter which side we put everything on, okay? So we have 0 equals 2 cosine squared theta minus, now really this is a 1 cosine theta minus 1. Now I'm going to factor this. So if you want to pretend that you have like 2x squared minus x minus 1, and pretend that that's what you're factoring, you know, and then use cosine instead. We could do it that way. Do you know how to factor this one? I'm just going to put the equal 0 on the right when I write this. I'm just going to go like this. I mean, 2 is prime. It's the only even prime number. So it's not like I'm going to have a lot of options for the first part. I have to have 2 cosine theta and cosine theta. I'm not showing AC method right now, but you know, you could still do AC method and grouping. I'm kind of doing the cheap guessing and checking. So 2 is prime, so it's got to be 2 and 1. I don't have any other choice for first and first. 1, well, oh no, this one. 1 over here for, this is last times last. That means this has to be 1 and 1. There's nothing else that we could multiply to give me 1, right? Now my outer gives me 2 cosine theta, and the inner gives me 1 cosine theta. How do I get a negative 1 from that? Well, negative 2 and positive 1. So I promise if you did AC method with grouping, 2 times negative 1, you would get negative 2. 1 and 2 needs to add to give me negative 1. That means I need negative 2, positive 1. You would split this up using negative plus 1x and minus 2x, blah, blah, blah. You get the same thing, okay? Are you all right up to there?
Yeah.
Okay. Then this is, we factored, yay. Now we're on our way to solve, and we're going to solve using the 0 product property because we have it equal to 0. So we're going to go ahead and set each factor equal to 0. So 2 cosine theta plus 1 is 0, and cosine theta minus 1 is 0. Subtract 1, divide by 2. Cosine theta is negative 1/2. Add 1, cosine theta is 1. When or where on the unit circle, what angle, when I take the cosine of those angles between 0 and 2 pi, will I get negative 1/2? So where's my x value, negative 1/2? Or where do I go left a little? Not a medium amount, that's root 2 over 2, and not a large amount, a lot, that's root 3 over 2. 1 over 2. So just a little bit over. Now go up and down to your unit circle. So it's going to be the 2 angles over a little bit for x. So it's going to be angles up there and there. What angles are those?
2 pi over 3
Mm-hmm.
and 4 pi over 3.
Yes. All right. And then where does cosine or the x, where is it equal to 1? So where does it positive? That means to the right. Cosine is x. Right the most, all the way furthest to the right. What angle is this?
0.
0. And we don't include 2 pi because of that. And there we go. Bam. 3 answers. 2 pi over 3, 4 pi over 3, and 0. So if that makes sense for people, and you understand it crystal clear, perfection, put a thumbs up for yourself. And if you are still fuzzy or confused, put a thumbs down on the video. Okay?